some point, people are going to pull this tape off the shelf at the Broadcasting Archives across the street, and they're going to probably have to convert it to whatever format they're using then. They're going to say, okay, this Brockman guy. They're going to get some impressions. Long down the road when you're done with this business, what would you like people to think of when they think of you and your body of work in this field?
Oh boy.
I got some good ones early in the morning here on you, don't I?
Yeah, that's pretty. You're asking the tough ones here. Well, I hope that they just will think that that I was responsible in my reporting of the news, that I was honest, and that I treated people fairly. It's always been my motto to treat other people like I would like to be treated. We still have to gather the news. Sometimes it's difficult, but I try to think and try to talk to my people about, if you're in that situation, how would you like to be treated, knowing, you know, we still have to get the story, but we can do that in a certain manner that that at least is going to be respectful of those people that we're covering. Well, I went to Wartburg College for 2 years and was at KWAR radio there, and decided after those 2 years that I wanted to get into broadcast news, that that's what I really wanted to do. They didn't have a broadcasting program at Wartburg at that time. And so I started checking things out and ended up transferring to Iowa State after I had met Jack Shelley there. He was a very caring professor. He was also my advisor, and to this day I still call him occasionally for advice, kind of fatherly advice, but it was just I don't know, he in some ways was like I suppose every other professor, but in most ways you knew nobody ever questioned what he was saying because he'd been there, he'd done it.
Al and I were in our third year at Wartburg. We were the sports editor and assistant sports editor of the Trumpet. And Ellen Kurt, the editor-in-chief at the time, and Cliff would always kind of get into it about AP style and editing choices. So I looked at Al and I said, "Don't you hate it when Dad and Mom argue?" We both laughed about it, and word got back to Cliff that we said this. And a few weeks later, he sent us all an email and signed it, Dad. And from that point on, that's all Al and I called him, was Dad. We actually got him Father's Day gifts about his mustache as well. And it's still to this day, he will email us or send us messages that say Dad on it.
The first time that I met Cliff is actually the reason that I was inspired by him. He went to all extremes to make sure that he's always up on what's current in the media industry. So I like that he's not just a professor, but he wants to make sure that his students know what's new and how they're going to have to work in the industry as it changes.
I've come more and more to understand how difficult it is for the Trumpet to maintain its independence, and how important it is for the Trumpet to maintain its independence. And so I always appreciated Cliff's willingness to come and speak frankly to me about those issues, issues around, I guess you could say, roughly freedom of the press here at Wartburg College.
I would submit a tape and a resume to the stations in the market trying to find a job, and one of them was to the CBS station, WHBF, and it was an attention news director, Cliff Brockman. I sent a tape, I sent a resume, and I never heard a thing. So I went to go work at KWQC, the NBC station. It wasn't until a couple of months of moving into the market, we started going to a church, and there were a couple other Wartburg people at that church, and I got to meet some of the people that were at that facility. And one of them happened to be Cindy and Cliff Brockman, and they were in the praise band. And Cliff Brockman, nice to meet you. I says, Cliff Brockman, I applied for a job and I never heard from you. And he said, oh, okay, well, congratulations on working at Channel 6. So I can always say that Cliff passed on hiring me.
I worked for 10 years in radio, actually 6 years full-time. I was worked at a station in Ames while I was going to school. And I worked at KAYL in Storm Lake, that was a radio station there, as a reporter and news director, and then went to KCAU where I was assignment editor and then later news director.
Cliff Brockman has taught all of us a lot about journalism and TV news specifically. You know, not just how to put a package together or, you know, your voicing or your writing, but he has really taught us that it's so important to keep digging for the truth. And that can be used if you're in journalism or not. And that's what I really respect about Cliff.
Every student who has worked with Cliff on the trumpet upon graduation leaves the college with a firm commitment to freedom of the press. And that's a valuable thing for any teacher to impart to a student.
In my current role, I think back to the different lessons and AP style quizzes and all the tips and tricks Cliff taught us, and it's really helped shape me into a more effective communicator, and I've even been known to break out my AP style book at work.
There's so many just small things that Cliff has said that especially makes so much more sense when you're out in the field. And I think one of the largest lessons that I've learned from him is persistence and dedication to your craft. Always growing. Cliff has never stopped growing, and I don't think he'll ever stop growing now. He's a continual learner, and I think that's truly an inspiration.
Well, I think it's just the opportunity to learn something new every day. It's just always exciting because you never know what's going to happen. Things can change in a moment. Just the excitement of that and of you know, being in the middle of things. And you're right, it's been, gosh, almost 30 years now since I graduated, even more than that since I've been in the business. And almost every day, there are days, but almost every day I'm excited to get up and come in and get going and see what's going to happen.
Well, Cliff, it has been an honor of mine to have been your colleague for the last 8+ years. And so I'm grateful for the service you provided to Wartburg College and to the students of Wartburg College. And I wish you all the best in this next chapter of your life. And I look forward to seeing you at many more basketball games as time goes on.
So Cliff, I don't think you thought retirement was going to come this way, but nobody does. I absolutely wish you the best. It's been almost 20 years of getting to know you and getting to share a lot of stories. I know we have a lot of common people in that background, and we can always share a good laugh, and we talk about Grant Price. And I'm going to miss having you here on a regular basis at Wartburg. I know I'll still be able to see you at the IBNA conference, and I just wish you and Cindy the best in your retirement.
Cliff, I know you don't think you're a big deal, but you are a big deal, a very big deal. And we were so very blessed to have you at Wartburg. Thank you for touching my life and touching all the lives at Wartburg. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you so much for your years of dedication to Wartburg, the Comm Arts Department, and the students. You have truly helped shape generations of better writers, and for that I cannot say thank you enough. Enjoy your retirement. You truly deserve it.
Cliff, I want to wish you the best of everything here in your retirement. Relax, read the news, find wonky headlines. I'm sure I'll find more and send them to you. Enjoy your time with Harvey. Don't get too big on Scotcheroos. You can send them my way. I will help you eat them if you'd like. And keep that stash groomed because you know we love it. And I mean, I'm my father's son. Look at this thing. I'm trying to grow it out for you, Cliff. But congratulations. Good luck with everything. And I'll keep visiting you when I make a stop up there.
Cliff, I know that your students really, really appreciate everything you've ever done for them, and it's obvious that you take great care in helping them. You will be sorely missed, but I hope you enjoy retirement and have the most fun that you can possibly have.
Cliff, you have done more than play the role of professor. You are a mentor to so many students at Wartburg College, and you've prepared us to carry on with your great work. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful retirement.